Hi friends, today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different because I recently hit 7,000 subscribers here on YouTube and I wanted to do something special to celebrate. Since we have so many new friends over here, I thought it would just make sense to kind of introduce myself. I asked you guys if you had any questions for me for this video. I thought we can get cozy, have a little coloring time, just get to know each other a little bit better. This is gonna be a very chatty, laid back video. So get yourself cozy, maybe boot up a little game. You can put me in the background while we chat. Let's get started. First of all, I did want to say that today's video is very kindly sponsored by Ohuhu, which is really nice because I would have been using their markers anyway. So thank you Ohuhu for sponsoring this video. They kindly sent me their 120 marker collection, which is very exciting. I already had some of their markers. I had used them so much that they were already dying on me, so I was really excited to get new ones. They also sent me this beautiful bamboo shelf for displaying and arranging my markers on my desk, which I really love because they are two-sided. It's important to keep them horizontal so that they don't dry on one side, if that makes sense. So this is the perfect storage for them, and it's also just really cute. I organized them all in this beautiful gradient. They also sent me their coloring books, which I didn't even know they did coloring books, and I was really excited to try them out because they are completely bleed proof and they're also made from recycled materials, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, I'm really excited to do some coloring together. Honestly, these are the best markers on the market. Today we're going to be using this My Simple Pleasure one because it has all of these really cute scenes and stuff. First of all, I thought I would introduce myself. My name is Illy. I use they them pronouns. I am a queer, Latina, neurodivergent content creator, and I'm very passionate about all things cozy and cozy lifestyle, but very specifically cozy gaming. I was born and raised in Venezuela. My mom is Venezuelan and my dad is Cuban, and I moved to the States when I was 21 with my two older brothers. I went to school in Venezuela for music, but when I moved here to the States, I decided to go to school for animation and video game art, so I do have a degree on that. I'm very passionate about everything video games in case this whole channel isn't proof enough of that. I love video games. I also just really love making art and animations, and yeah, I decided to make this YouTube channel because I'm neurodivergent and very shy. So when I immigrated to the United States, I realized that I had a really hard time making friends and finding people who were similar to me and like the same things that I did. And so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna get myself out of my comfort zone and try something new. I just decided to start making YouTube videos, and I'm also very passionate about inclusivity in gaming in terms of accessibility in gaming, but also representation in gaming. So you'll see me talk about that on my channel here and there. I really love supporting indie developers as well. I feel like indie developers are like the trailblazers and that kind of stuff. So this little baby back here, her name is Pacha. She is 8 years old, and you'll see her in the back of my videos just getting cozy. I do really wish I could switch lives with her, but alas. Okay, let's get into some of your questions. First of all, I am gonna get into the gaming questions. So someone asked, favorite Switch cozy game? This is a really hard question because I feel like I just have a hard time picking favorites in general. Like when someone is like, favorite movie, favorite song, I'm just like, oh, there's so many. It's so hard to choose, but I think it would just have to be Pikmin. I also had a couple people ask what's my favorite game of all time. Pikmin is really up there as my favorite Switch game. I think the first Pikmin game was a GameCube game, but Pikmin 3 and 4 are Nintendo Switch games, and especially Pikmin 3 was so good, so fun. It's like my favorite Nintendo franchise. I feel like it's so underrated. People who have been watching my channel for a while know this kind of running gag. Whenever I can mention Pikmin in a video, I will. If we're not talking specifically Switch games, there are so many games. Journey is one of my favorite games of all time. I really love talking about Journey because I find it to be such a unique game. I also love unpacking. I talk about that game all the time as well. Those are the ones that come to mind right now. What's the game you have the most hours in? I would have to say probably Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing has to be the game that I've played the most in my entire life. I think a lot of it has to do with the gameplay itself. I feel like Animal Crossing gameplay is pretty slow. It is kind of inevitable that you have to spend a long time doing it. But I will say it runs a little bit faster in the Switch too. So yeah, definitely Animal Crossing. I don't even know how many hours I have on Animal Crossing, but it has to be in the thousands. I had a hyperfixation phase, as many people did when it first came out. Dropped it for a few years and then picked it back up. I'm back on the hyperfixation train. I have been playing it so much. If you've seen some of my latest videos, you would have known. I've been working on decorating my island. I'm doing half cottagecore, half citycore. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm really enjoying just the process. Someone also asked, what's your earliest gaming memory? I have a hard time remembering things in general. Very early childhood memories. It's hard for me to tell how old I was when they happened. Let me know if you're similar. I remember being a kid and taking my brother's Game Boy and trying to play Pokemon when I was very, very little, and not really understanding what was going on because everything was in English and like promptly just like giving up. That's definitely one of the reasons why I never got into Pokemon games, because when I was little they were in English and I didn't speak English, and I was just kind of like, I just don't understand these games. Not that that stopped me from playing other games. I feel like a lot of my childhood I spent playing games in a way that maybe wasn't the way that I was supposed to. Sonic Adventure 2 was one of my favorite games when I was younger. Another iconic GameCube game, and I remember I spent most of my time just taking care of my chows. Let me know if you were the same. I remember that. I remember playing a lot of the Barbie computer games when I was little. Those were fun. Those were really fun. I remember playing Pikmin when I was very little. I also had this hyperfixation on this one Monsters Inc. GameCube game. I actually have it. Hold on, let me get it. This is one of the first games that I remember playing when I was little. Monsters Inc. Scream Arena. It's such a random little game. It's like a sports game, but it's also Monsters Inc. Yeah, I don't know. This is like one of my earliest memories, and I'm really happy to have it as an adult. Next is a really good question. If you could live in any game world, which one would you choose? See, this is a hard one because I feel like a lot of game worlds are very hectic, and I'm trying to not live a hectic life. We already have enough chaos in the world that we live in right now, so I think I would choose one that doesn't have any of that. Maybe I would just live in Animal Crossing. You know, when you see your islanders and they're like, they talk to you and they're like, sorry, I can't talk right now, I have so much to do today, and then you see them just like sitting under a tree. I want that kind of life. I want sitting under a tree to be the reason why I'm busy, you know? Stardew Valley would be fun. However, the idea of having to go into the mines and fight doesn't sound very appealing to me. I haven't played Tales of the Shire, but I feel like Tales of the Shire would be a good one too. Just kind of like making friends and hanging out. What is a game you constantly go back to? I am a chronic game repeater. I feel if I really like, especially the game's mechanic, I will play it over and over. Unpacking is one of the games that I've replayed the most in my life, probably. I love that game. I love the mechanics. I love that each time you play is slightly different because you have a lot of freedom on the decoration aspect of the game. I have played A Short Hike a lot too. It's one of the few games that I felt that completionist itch to just like finish the whole thing and get all of the feathers and all of the things. I also always go back to Animal Crossing. I feel like it'll always be, for me, one of the most comforting games there are. Animal Crossing music starts playing with the little sounds of the wind and stuff, and I immediately feel calm. I also love playing Power Wash Simulator. I am currently going through the Shrek expansion pack. So much fun. I love it. It's such a brain off game. When it comes to like, I need to play something at the end of the day to relax to, I always go back to my brain off games. Okay, Now I'm gonna get into content creation slash channel questions. Someone asked, why Cozy Game Night? When I started to think of names for my channel, I really wanted to come up with something that felt kind of like how I wanted friendship to feel like, because my main purpose was to make friends, and kept thinking about when I was little, and well, not little, when I was a teenager, and I had like my bestest friends, and we would have like our little sleepovers, and it would always feel like the most safe, fun space to have conversations and open up with your friends, talk about what was going on with you and your life, you know, talk about hopes and dreams and connect. But at the same time, feeling so safe to be like the silliest version of yourself. And also, for those who don't know, I started my YouTube channel and I started streaming at the same time. And I was working full time at the time, and I could only stream at night too. So I was like, Cozy Game Night, it's perfect. It's like a little cozy game night with friends. What got you into content in the first place? I've already talked about it a little bit, but I'm extremely neurodivergent and I'm an immigrant. I feel like I immigrated at a point where I was already an adult and I was going to work and going to school. And also like the pandemic hit. So even going to school, I wasn't getting to know a lot of people because we were doing remote. So I felt like I was having a really hard time making friends. And I've always had interest in video games and I've always loved YouTube. So it was like, I'm gonna put myself out there, do something completely out of my comfort zone that feels both creatively fulfilling and at the same time maybe meet people who are the same as I am. That was always like my first priority. And I said to myself like, hey, let's just do this for 1 year. And if after a year you don't like it or nothing comes out of it, you can disappear from the internet and like not do this anymore. So I made that pact with myself. After a year, I found myself enjoying this way more than I thought I ever would. I had met so many amazing people. We had all created this lovely corner of the internet with people who care for each other and are on the same wavelength and the same mindset about life in general. And I was just like, I want to keep doing this. And I kind of found myself also getting more opportunities from it, and I just didn't want to stop, so here I am. Do you think you'll ever branch out of the cozy game genre? Honestly, I don't know. I don't see cozy gaming as like a box for me or something that is like, well, you're a cozy gamer, so you can't play any other games or you can't talk about any other games or whatever. I think cozy gaming for me is more so a mindset around gaming rather than what games you play. I feel like any game can be cozy. That's just my opinion. I know not everyone feels that way, but let me continue doing this drawing. I'm like yapping and completely forgetting to finish this. I just talk about the games that I like, and I think those happen to fall under the umbrella of cozy gaming. I feel like I also talk about games that aren't necessarily conventionally cozy games, if that makes sense. Those are just the games that I like and that I find cozy. I like playing all kinds of games. I think all games are great and beautiful. I'll play shooters and I'll play survivor games and I play, any kind of game. So if I find that I'm really interested in a particular game that isn't in the box of cozy gaming, I will talk about it. I don't think that will necessarily take me out of the cozy genre because I feel like you can make anything cozy. Who knows? I don't know what the future holds. Maybe I'll become a Destiny only channel in the future. What has been your favorite part about growing your community? It's the people, honestly. I've been able to find such like-minded people who like the same things that I do, and we have like a very similar sense of humor. A lot of the people in my community are honestly some of the sweetest, kindest people I've ever met. Like that's the best part, getting to know all of these people from all over the world who somehow can come together for the same things, if that makes sense. I also really love every time that we've done a charity event with our community on Twitch. It always just makes me feel so empowered and so proud when we are able to come together as a community for a bigger cause. Those are the things that I'm like, I can't believe we get to do this. You know, this is so cool. I also have people who, like, I get so many lovely comments of people who somehow have found some value in the silly videos that I put out on the internet. And, you know, I think the human connection of it all is my favorite part for sure. I do have a couple of stream questions. For those who don't know, I do stream on Twitch 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. We do a lot of cozy gaming and yapping, and we do some cozy crafting here and there. We also do co-working on Fridays. I really love my Twitch friends. What game are you going to play on stream after Undertale? First of all, I am playing Undertale for the first time on stream, and I love it so much. Somehow I've managed to stay away from all the Undertale spoilers. I'm probably going to be finishing Undertale by the time that Tales of the Shire comes out, which is the game that I'm most excited for this year. So I'm really excited to play that on stream. Be a little hobbit. I also had someone ask me if I would consider multi-streaming. I assume they mean like streaming on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. I actually thought about it for a long time and I never have gotten around to do it. But if that's something that you're interested in, let me know and I will try to do that. I just don't know how to do it. But I'm sure it can't be too hard. But yeah, I would love to. Now we're gonna get more into personal questions that you had about me as a person. Favorite book. I feel like this has changed so much throughout my life, but my current favorite book is Frankenstein. Read it a couple years ago and I have developed a unhealthy obsession with Frankenstein and Mary Shelley in general and her life story and all of that. I started like hyperfixating on her life and kind of what drew her to write Frankenstein, because I felt so deeply related to Frankenstein's monster in a lot of ways. I feel like it's such a beautiful representation of what it feels like to be ostracized for being different, which happens to a lot of people in different ways, but especially I think it's a beautiful allegory for people who are queer. And yeah, I really love it. What's your favorite thing to bake? This is a hard question. For those who don't know, I work at a bakery. That's like my, I don't know what you would call it, daytime job. My favorite thing to bake, I mean, in terms of the process of baking it or the taste of it. We make this Venezuelan cookies. They are called polvorosas. They look like this. That's probably one of my favorite things to eat. They are this beautiful cookie that just like melts in your mouth when you eat them. They're perfectly sweet but not too sweet, and you coat them with sugar and cinnamon on the outside. Those have to be up there with some of my favorite, but honestly I am not very hard to please and I don't really have a big sweet tooth either, so, which is weird for a baker, I guess. I had someone ask me, do you like other blind boxes besides Miski's? And the answer is yes, absolutely. If it were on me, I think I would have way too many. I really do have to practice restraint when it comes to blind boxes. For those who don't know, I have a really big Smisky collection, but currently my other favorites have to be the Powerpuff Girl Crybabies ones. They're just so adorable. I also had a couple people ask me what my favorite sweet treat or snack is. When it comes to something sweet, I don't really usually have a big sweet tooth. I'll go for boba right now because that's the first thing that comes to mind. But snack in general, I love some chips. I'm a big fan of the nacho flavor ones, of the popcorners. Those are some of my favorites. Sun chips. Yeah, honestly, any kind of chip. Big fan of chips. El mejor plato venezolano. That's such a good and hard question. Which translates to what's the best Venezuelan dish? I mean, I'll have to say arepas. Arepas and tequeños are my favorite. I eat arepas at least once a week. A less known one and a very nostalgic one for me is bollitos. You get the same batter that you use to make arepas, but you make it into like a tube shape. I don't know how to explain it. And you boil them and then you put like whatever you want on top of it. Usually butter and cheese. It's It's so good. My mom used to make that a lot when I was feeling under the weather when I was little, so it's like my ultimate Venezuelan comfort food. What's a memory that always makes you smile? That's a really good question. I have a 3-year-old nephew who is my absolute pride and joy, the light of my life, and I think I have so many memories with him that I immediately just like make me want to cry because they make me so happy. We like take care of him a couple of times a week. Whenever he gets here, he always comes running into my room to give me a hug. Any memories with him? He's such a funny little guy. What's your favorite way to spend a free day? If I had my dream day, I'm definitely a morning person, so I like waking up early in the day. I would like to have a cute little plan, going to visit a new place or visit the new library that just opened, or going to this museum that I've never been before in this city, or going to the botanical garden. Have like a cute little plan like that. Do that with a loved one, and then maybe if we go to a farmer's market or something, we get a few ingredients to make something delicious at night, and then we come back, we hang out for a little bit, and then make something really yummy, and then we binge watch a show for the rest of the night or play a video game for the rest of the night. We're cozy and we're having nice conversation. That's kind of my perfect day. Eating good food, good company, being cozy at home, having a cute little outing. Do you have a dream city or country that you'd like to visit? There's so many places I would love to visit, honestly. I would like to go pretty much anywhere at least once. I think it would be really fun to go to like Amsterdam or Copenhagen. Honestly, anywhere. I want to go everywhere. What do you hope your life would look like in 10 years? Now that's a hard question. I would really love to be a homeowner one day. I've been wanting to move out of Florida for a while, so I really hope I'm living in a different city. I hope I'm still working on doing content, honestly. But if not, I hope whatever I'm doing, I'm happy. I just honestly, I hope that the most important to me is that whatever I'm doing, I'm happy, you know? Yeah, maybe a homeowner surrounded by loved ones in a different city, doing something I love and just being happy. What is a piece of advice you'd give your past self when you just started content creation? Actually, you know what I would tell myself? I would say there's nothing wrong with the way that you talk. Because English is not my first language. I was very self-conscious about it when I first started like recording myself. When I look back at those videos, I can definitely see how nervous I was. And so what if people think your accent is weird? You're not from here. Oh no, this is not the color I thought it was. Damn it. Oh well, we have to commit now, huh? Can you please do more crowd control streams? They're very chaotic and fun. Yes, I will, I promise. Do you have any fun plans for your stream/channel as you continue to grow? I definitely have certain hopes of videos that I would like to make in the future, and plans and ideas, but I don't know. I feel like this is such a unpredictable kind of job. I guess this is my job now. I don't know. It's hard to call it that, but I would say because this is such an unpredictable job, I don't really have any like set plans. Like I just hope that my most important thing is that I'm still enjoying it, and that we still have a community that cares for each other and that is a positive space on the internet. That's kind of like my only like forever plan, I guess. Another question is a little bit more personal, and is, when did you know you were gay? I'm non-binary and pansexual. It's kind of hard to tell when I knew. I feel like I kind of always knew. It's really funny to look back on my childhood, because it's like, of course I was queer my whole life. I thought everyone felt the same way about people that I felt about people. Does that make sense? I was like, of course everyone wants to kiss their friends. Of course everyone likes girls. I mean, look at them, they're beautiful. When I grew older, I kind of started realizing that was kind of not the norm. Some people don't want to kiss girls. Same with my gender, I feel like. I feel like I always kind of knew that I felt differently about these things. It was one of those things that, like, when I learned the term and I met more people who were genderqueer, then I was like, oh yeah, like I relate to that. That's me, you know? And that's why I think representation is so important, because if not, you might spend your whole life thinking that there's something wrong with you, you know? It's crazy how it honestly doesn't bleed to the other side. I'm still like in shock by that. Cute. I always like to put the date on my drawings. Just so that I remember. I really love how it turned out. You can see the Ohuhu markers really, they just look so good. It almost looks like printed on the page. I do have one more question. Someone asked, how does Pacha feel about being famous? And I think we need to bring her to answer this question herself. The people are asking how you feel about being famous. How do you feel about it? Right. Oh. Thank you so much for everyone who's submitted questions. If you have any more questions, you can put them in the description. I think I will also pin a comment with some questions that I want to ask you guys, in case you would also like to share a little bit about yourselves, so that we can both get to know each other better. If you made it this far, please comment below a little waffle emoji, and wow, you're a tripper for sitting for however long I've been yapping. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe. It helps my channel immensely. I really appreciate you being here. I feel extremely lucky to have you in this community. So thank you so much for following, for watching, for supporting in any way. I really do appreciate it. Most importantly, remember to take care of yourself, have some rest, have some water, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.